Okay, so let's talk about trust. We all think we know what it means, but what if there's a much deeper layer to it?
Exactly. Something more fundamental than just deciding if someone's reliable.
And that's what we're diving into today, looking at a really interesting session from the HypnoVibes YouTube channel.
Right. The one with Naomi, the hypnotist, and Navi, the participant.
They use this technique, hypnochanneling, which is presented as a way to tap into, well, a higher consciousness, accessing universal knowledge, supposedly.
Yeah, and Naomi Zhu, the hypnotist involved, actually wrote a book on this sort of thing, The Next Level You. It explores raising consciousness for anyone interested. It's on Amazon.
So our mission today is to unpack the insights on trust that came through in that specific HypnoVibes session.
And it's fascinating right from the start, the whole method, hypnochanneling. It's a different lens to view something like trust through.
Definitely. The idea is that Navi, under hypnosis, accesses this wider awareness and shares what comes through.
So let's get into what Navi experienced first. What were those initial images and feelings?
Well, first up, he described seeing a spell guide, visualized as female, maybe an Eliza type, he said.
Okay, a guide figure. Then what?
Then a lot of green color, and it joins up with the shape, non-human starting with T.
A T shape. Interesting. What was it like?
Vivid description, actually. Covered in spikes on the outside.
Spikes. Sounds a bit unwelcoming.
Right. But, and this is key, it had this really bright energy inside. The outer look was described as all over the place, not in smooth fashion.
So that contrast is immediate. Rough, chaotic exterior, but this luminous core.
Yeah, it really suggests, don't judge a book by its cover, energetically speaking.
Or that inner value isn't negated by outer appearances.
Yeah.
And this led to an idea about cleaning it up.
Exactly. The message was about needing to clean it first and make it smooth.
Yeah.
And the analogy used was like opening an egg, so the yolk just flows out smoothly.
Ah, okay. So the cleaning isn't just surface level. It's about getting to that smooth inner flow.
Precisely. It connects to releasing confusion, negative emotions, but described in a very energetic way. Not just feelings, but like a stinking is energetic flow that isn't smooth.
Wow, stinking energetic flow. That's quite a description. It gives this sense that our inner state has this, well, almost physical quality. It can be blocked or flowing.
And that idea of energy flow continues with another analogy, right? The snail.
Yes, the snail. The body's energy, or maybe just energy, moving slowly, up and down, like a snail's path.
Slow, deliberate movement.
But what's interesting is the message was that even when this slow movement pauses, other beings notice it, despite its size.
So even quiet or slow energy has presence.
And there was mention of an inner hot child.
A hot child. What did that represent?
Like a protective element.
Yeah.
Preventing unwanted penetration was the phrase used. A kind of inner guardian.
Okay, so protection and presence, even in slow movement, and value.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
A valuable living energy within, no matter how small it seems external.
It makes you think about our own journeys, doesn't it? The ups and downs, feeling small sometimes, but still having that inner core, that worth.
And maybe those moments where we are noticed, even when we're just quietly moving along.
So maybe trust starts there. Trusting that inner living energy, that hot child protector within ourselves.
That's a really good point. Like an innate self-worth, maybe, before we even get to trusting others.
And building on this internal experience, Navi also started sensing energies in the actual room.
Right. He described feeling a dome of energy, specifically around the bed and the people near it. Said it was more obvious there.
A localized energy field. What did it look like?
Visualized with colors green, yellow, and red coats, likened to a neon green-yellow. Pretty vibrant.
And did it have a purpose?
Communication. That was the stated purpose. And apparently this energy was there right from the start as soon as they entered the room.
So constant energetic communication happening, whether we're aware of it or not.
That's what it suggests. An unseen layer of interaction, always present. Which kind of sets the stage perfectly for talking directly about trust.
Yeah, the core topic. And the session was very direct about it, stated that trust is vitally important.
Vitally important. And that without it, well, nothing could be accomplished. Strong words.
Very strong. But then quite a critical assessment of where we are now.
Yeah, the idea that the human species is managing that in the poorest way possible.
Ouch. Why?
Because of learned behaviors. Behaviors that are the opposite of that, the opposite of trust.
Learned behaviors. But the good news is
they can be unlearned. That capacity for trust isn't gone forever. It can be rebuilt, cultivated anytime.
that's hopeful.
Yeah.
But then comes this statement that really makes you think.
Which one?
It's very hard to trust things we don't know, but we need to trust everything.
Yes. That one. Let's just, sit with that. Trust everything.
It sounds like a total paradox, right? How can you trust things you don't know? Our whole survival instinct often screams against that.
It really challenges our usual conditional approach to trust. We trust if something proves itself trustworthy. This flips it.
And the explanation given was that trusting is actually our natural nature.
Our natural state. What happened to it?
Apparently, it got lost or buried when humans figured out that power could be used, well, to consume the energy of others.
So a shift away from inherent trust towards, like, defensiveness and skepticism because of negative experiences with power dynamics.
Yeah. So if trust is natural, how do we even begin to get back to that? How do you peel away those layers of learned distrust in everyday life?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it makes you wonder what else is part of that natural nature that we've lost touch with.
Well, interestingly, this session then brought up music. Seemed like a bit of a tangent at first.
But maybe not. How is music connected?
It was described across all genres, even rock, as a beautiful refuse to the highest forms, tapping into the instrument of spirit.
Instrument of spirit. So music as a way spirit expresses itself.
Kind of, giving spirit and creativity a physical or audible manifestation. Instruments were made for that. But crucially, we also have this musical ability within.
An inner music, like the inner light earlier.
Perhaps. And the highest form of this wasn't playing an instrument perfectly, but hearing music internally, without any external sound.
Wow. Like a direct connection.
Yeah. And this ties into some powerful affirmations that came through.
Which were?
Things like, your enjoyment is spirit's enjoyment, and your happiness is spill's happiness, spelled S-P-I-L-L-O.
Spill's happiness, like overflowing.
Maybe. Or maybe spirit's happiness. The transcript wasn't totally clear, but the sense was connection. Also, your pleasure, it's spill's pleasure.
So our personal joy and pleasure are directly connected to, or maybe even are, the joy and pleasure of spirit, whatever that means exactly.
It suggests this deep interconnectedness, maybe tapping into that inner creativity, that spirit helps build self-trust, and then that naturally flows outwards.
It could. So pulling it all together from this HypnoVibes session, trust is absolutely vital. Maybe even our original setting.
Your default state. But one that's been messed up by learned behaviors, by power stuff.
Right. And even if things look chaotic outside, like that spiky T shape, there's that inner light, that potential, always there.
And dealing with the inner static, that stinking energetic flow, seems key to accessing that light and maybe reclaiming trust.
The snail analogy reinforces that to inherent value and presence, even when slow or vulnerable.
Plus the hint of constant energetic connection all around us.
And that brings us back to the big one, the challenge to return to our natural nature of trust, to somehow trust everything.
It really sticks with you, not about being naive, I don't think, but considering trust as a fundamental state we could return to.
Yeah, how differently might you see things, interact with people, if you started from that baseline, that understanding of an inherent capacity for trust, trusting that inner light first?
Definitely food for thought. A different way to frame our experiences. And again, if exploring consciousness is something you're drawn to, Naomi Shu's book, The Next Level You, might be a place to look further.
Worth considering how shifting our view on trust could ripple outwards.
Say it clear, say it more louder. Do you have any? Spirit guides. You do? We all have spirit guides. I see a female with a lizard type. Oh, lizard. Green color. Showing a shape. It's not a shape that's recognizable by humans. It starts with a T. Navi could show it to you when he's done with this session. He can draw. But he could show it on his mobile device.
my...
But what she is trying to show is that this structure has spikes all around it, but in the middle is an energy within it that is very bright. But when you look at it on the outside, it's all over the place, not in smooth fashion. And she's trying to give that reference to you, that the points around that structure is scrambled around, but that doesn't mean that within yourself you do not have a light that shines. You must clean it first and make it smooth. And when you open it up as an egg, it just flows out like a yolk that breaks, and you see the yellowness of that egg just flowing out, same way you must do.
She's trying to show him that.
Yes.
So the clean is to clean the confusion?
Not just confusion, but himself.
You mean release certain negative emotions?
Not just emotions, it's thinking. Is energetic flow. It's not flowing smoothly, it's going as if it's a heart monitor, not a heart monitor, it's as if it's a snail. That's the image I'm getting. That when a snail moves, it's going slowly, but it's going up and down, because that's the way the body is. But when it's on its when it stops moving, other beings look towards it, even though it's small. It has a hard shell that doesn't let other people penetrate, because it does not want to let other people penetrate. But once you look within it, you'll see that there's a living energy within that has much to offer. Just because it is small does not mean it's not grand in the grander scheme of things. Same way, you must go up and down like the snail and just pause for a moment and let other beings look how much far that you've gone, even though you're small.
See, I think I understand. Very good. And do you feel any energies right now in this room? Like invisible to us?
I do. I see it more in, it's like a dome that I'm feeling.
Oh.
Just in this bed and the people around this bed. More obvious here than other places in this room.
What this dome is about?
Well, the energy, the colors that I see for this energy is green. It's like a neon green, but neon green, yellow,
So it's like a rainbow?
Not a rainbow, just
One
3 particular colors that I'm seeing.
Uh-huh.
Green, yellow, and red.
Uh-huh.
That is what I'm picking up on.
Right. What this energy is doing.
Trust.
Oh, it's a trust?
Communication.
Uh-huh.
Flowingness.
So we created this energy?
The energy already came as soon as
Yes.
the four of you walked through the door.
Ah. So we were talking about trust today.
Yes. It is vitally important to have it. Without it, nothing could be accomplished.
So
Human species is managing that in the poorest way possible.
because
But-
everything we learned in our life is the opposite of that.
That is correct.
But we can unlearn those and build the trust.
At any moment's time.
So trust, I think it's very hard to trust things we don't know, but we need to trust everything.
That's part of the process.
To trust everything.
It's your natural nature to trust, but humans have lost that as soon as they realized that power could be used to consume other people's energy.
Oh.
And you can use it for their own advantages.
I see.
Similar to music, as Jessica has pointed out from another conversation that was had.
So I want to know what's the rock music is really there for? What kind of energy it carries?
The notes from the guitar are like the intricate frequencies of consciousness that just plays and flows out to the ether itself. And once it flows out, it creates a ripple effect to the multiverse. Something so small is not insignificant, is not as insignificant as humans realize. Music in all genres is beautiful if used to the highest forms. One of those is rock.
So it doesn't matter what kind of music it all carries.
All music is tapping into the instrument of spirit. It was created so humans could tap into the instrument of spirit to give a physical manifestation of spirit. People want to see creativity used in a physical form, and that is why music was created, and that is why instruments was created. But we could tap into that musical ability within.
Mm. Sometimes when I'm doing the psychedelics, I feel I'm not listening to any music. No music is playing, but I can hear inside.
That is the highest form. Other ones are artificially made. But does not take away from the experience itself. Your enjoyment is spirit's enjoyment. Your happiness is spirit's happiness. Your pleasure is spirit's pleasure.
If no one has more questions, then I'm ready, to let you go. And then we really appreciate your information.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure I will speak with you soon again.
Very soon.
Thank you. And I'm going to let Navi's conscious awareness to be back. When I count 2, 3, you'll be back here in this room and this reality. 1, you're coming back very nicely.